amazing. It's the first time I saw the tunnel, but I was amazed. It's beautiful.
It was very cool. We loved it. It was nice and cool in there, which was lovely. And it was neat seeing the signs that tell you how far underground you are.
And the tunnel was obviously a special attraction for us to visit. Yeah, no, they've done a nice job restoring it, and there's lots of information about its history and what it was used for. The lighting is really cool, and the way it was constructed is amazing. It's an interesting way of preserving history and getting people to respond to it and to, read the various plaques that are inside and to learn a little bit about why it's here.
Brockville, Ontario may not be the most well-known town, but it has a surprising attraction that should, and perhaps will, make it eventually a lot more well-known than it is. It's a tunnel that goes right under the center of town. It is the oldest railway tunnel in Canada, but now, instead of a train, it has nearly a half-mile walking path through a world-class light and music show, passing by historical markers describing exactly what the tunnel is. The half-kilometer path leads from a city park on the waterfront of the St. Lawrence River, underneath the center of Brockville, to Pearl Street, a 20-minute walk up into the center of town. It is completely free to walk, doesn't cost anything. It's open every day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. from May to October, and it is estimated to attract some 100,000 visitors every year. The tunnel was built for the Brockville and Ottawa Railway, whose charter specified that a station had to be built on the waterfront within the town limits with the intent of connecting the commerce on the St. Lawrence River, particularly lumber, with the railroads leading to the interior of Canada. With the downtown in the way of the route, the railway had to decide between looping around downtown to get to the waterfront or building a tunnel. They opted for the tunnel and began work on it in 1854. Things bogged down for a couple of years when the railway ran out of cash for the project. They did find new funds and finally finished the project 6 years after starting. The first train passed through the tunnel in December 1860. Rubble from the tunnel was used to extend Brockville's waterfront, and a station house and blockhouse for engines were built. The Brockville and Ottawa Railway eventually was absorbed by the Canadian Pacific Railway, but trains continued to run through the tunnel until 1969. At first, they were steam engines, with shafts built into the ceiling of the tunnel to allow the smoke to escape. One of the shafts went right up into Brockville City Hall, where one of the chimneys that can still be seen on the building provided the ventilation to the outside. In the 1970s, the tracks were removed from the tunnel, and in 1983, the city of Brockville acquired the waterfront and the tunnel for a price of $1. The waterfront was developed as a park, but the doors to the tunnel remained closed most of the time, sometimes opened briefly for public viewing, but entry wasn't allowed. Then, a redevelopment effort was started in 2011 with the formation of a city committee to study the opening of the tunnel as part of the park. The committee deliberated for 5 years, and finally, when they decided it was a good idea, they began raising funds for it. In 2016, structural repairs began, including shoring up the masonry, creating a smooth sidewalk-like path for safe walking, and installing the light show, which, with 35,000 LEDs, now offers a 90-minute light and music show all day long. After spending over $5 million Canadian on the project, the committee opened the tunnel to the public on August 12, 2017, following a grand parade and an opening ceremony at the tunnel's south portal. Over 25,000 people toured the tunnel the first weekend. Noah Smith is with Brockville Tourism, the agency which helps oversee the Brockville Railway Tunnel.
So it's 500 meters underground, so it runs from basically right on our waterfront to probably like 6 or 7 blocks north. And as an attraction, they've put in a light and sound show, which both kind of highlights the natural history as well with some like modern elements. It was a joint effort between the city and a committee of kind of local historians and geologists, engineers. So it was just a really good way to kind of open it up, light up the whole thing so people could really see the rock and kind of the formations in there, and then also making it more attractive to families and kids, and there's colored lights in there and music. There's a plaque every few feet explaining what went into the process when they originally built it. It really does do a good job of showing the historic elements. Just because it's underground, definitely water like seeps down through the rock, so there are points where it's like it drips constantly. So some people do get surprised when they're in there on a nice day and they come out a little bit wet, but it's a very good way to cool off hot days.
All right, who are you and where are you from?
My name is Dave Belche, and I live in Kemptville, Ontario. We've been residents of this area 50 years and been to Brockville many times, and I've never done the tunnel. We decided to do a little bit of a staycation today, and I'm absolutely blown away. It's beautiful.
What did you like most about it?
The water. Just the construction, the ventilation systems they have in there. It's just a remarkable piece of engineering. It's an undiscovered gem for those of us that have been here and never get off the main drag.
Yeah, I would say people are very good. It's one of those things where it's just open from 9 to 9 every day, and people kind of come and go as they please. So we do have rules about no bicycles and stuff like that, but yeah, we rarely ever have issues. I've been here 3 summers, and there's really nothing has ever gone wrong. Knock on wood, seriously.
My name is Suzanne. I'm from Bromont, Quebec.
Is this your first time in the tunnel?
Yeah, it is.
What was your impression of it?
I think it's awesome. The light show, the feeling of being underground. A little scary at first, but trustworthy. And it's a must. What I liked most were the work, year after year work of the rocks and the forms with the water coming down, and yeah, the rock movement years after years.
So you would recommend this to other people to come visit?
Absolutely, it's a must. You gotta see this, it's unique. I've never seen something like that.
And what would you tell them to urge them to come?
Well, first have lunch on the main street there, and then it's a nice way to come and digest. A little walk through the tunnel, and the scenery out of the tunnel is just absolutely beautiful. Southern Ontario is beautiful.
Though the historical record shows that the last train went through the Brockville Railway Tunnel in 1969, that's not exactly true. A mini train runs a round trip through the tunnel several times a day, run by a local museum called the Aquatarium, one more unique feature in Brockville's remarkable railway tunnel.